last stretch of the staircase, so we're nearing the end of the 125 stairs.
We're descending 23 metres, or 75 feet as it would have been back then, following in the wartime footsteps of the soldiers charged with defending our coastline.
A long-range gun which has lobbed more than one shell at the Germans across the channel.
It was Winston Churchill himself who ordered these tunnels should be hewn from the Dover chalk. They provided shelter for the troops that manned the artillery guns above, men who slept just 21 miles away from the enemy in occupied France.
This is the original MOD plan of the underground accommodation for Fan Bay Deep Shelter. There's lots of bunk beds throughout, but it's also got an emergency hospital and emergency store as well.
So Gordon, tell me, what would life have been like down here for the men stationed?
Probably quite smelly, really. The accommodation was for 4 officers, 185 other ranks. So even though they had the forced air coming down here, it would have been quite interesting. Also in those days, they would have been allowed to smoke quite happily.
Right.
Yeah, probably was a bit smelly.
For the past 2 years, volunteers have removed, by hand, 30 tonnes of rubble that was used to block the tunnel entrance in the 1970s. But now the labyrinthine shelter has been reopened to offer a real sense of its past. And carved into the soft chalk walls of these tunnels in the White Cliffs of Dover, there are around 8,000 items of graffiti. And I bet you've never seen anything like this before. Look at this chap. I wonder who he is. And a deliberate decision has been made to create not so much a traditional museum, but rather a time capsule.
One of the special things about the tunnels is the atmosphere down here, and that you've had this very gentle decay over the years. So we wanted to preserve that, so we've only lightly cleaned it and we haven't put any interpretation panels on it. You can find lots of original artefacts, and it's just an experience to journey through the tunnels.
And halfway down the cliffside, the history they've uncovered is even older. Now, what the excavations here at Fan Bay have done is not only unlock secrets about the Second World War, but also the First World War. These are sound mirrors. You may be able to hear the strange acoustic. I can hear my voice almost surrounding me. They are a precursor, a forerunner, really, of radar. It enabled the troops based here to foresee, or at least hear in advance, attacks coming across the channel. There are records that air raids were predicted 9 minutes ahead of the aircraft actually arriving over the Dover coast. The National Trust bought this land to link 2 sites with a footpath, but got more than it bargained for.
We wanted to secure access for people so that they could enjoy walking across the cliffs, but we knew it was here, and we knew the right thing to do was to open it up, to restore it and let people come and see it.
For troops heading to war, the White Cliffs were the last thing they saw, and if they returned, were the first sight of home. Little did they know that within, a secret but vital war was being waged deep underground.